Can we hear me? Start up. Sorry. Is that better? Are we good to go? Can we hear me now or no? Is it? Yeah, yeah. Hey up. Right, close that off. Sorry about that. Little technical error. Give me 1 second. I don't even know what this thing's for, but it lives on there anyway. It come on there, so I'll just leave it on. Right. For Funky Gorilla, first time caught you live. Don Barros, better. There we go. Exploration UK, Infinity Blade, Ben Williams, Sir Unai Emery. How you doing, mate? Good, thank you very much. Chris Black, all good. BJC19 or 19 sounds on now, Kurt. That bloody Mick. That bloody Mike. No, yeah, Mick. Who's Mick? Eddie Gilks, no sound again. Tell me about mate. Bear with me. I'm only a plasterer on. Sir Unai Emery. Kirk, what do you think is the hardest trade? Physical graft, I would say. I always used to say it was between ground workers and site plasterers, building site plasterers. But I think now, with all the machinery that they've got, I think plasterers definitely work harder than ground workers. You usually see ground workers stood like 5 of them watching one fella work. So I would say more than likely a plasterer working on a building site on a price per square meter is going to be the hardest worker you're going to ever find in your life. Thomas, fantastic to see you. Cheers, mate. CJ thought me hearing aid had packed up. Don Bar has to cancel noise. Yeah, as long as it can get me, that's the main thing. Matthew Elliott, evening, Kirk. How you doing? Exploration, yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Lulu, just a quick message. Really enjoy your channel. Spot on. Cheers, Lulu. Philip Hughes, it stops B's and P's from popping the mic. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. I'll tell you what I need to upgrade next. I'll tell you what's suffering, what's letting me down is I sort of got a little bit diddled by the techno nerds when I bought this laptop. So I originally did everything on my Samsung phone, this trusty little bit of kit, and then I thought what I'll do is to start editing videos easier, I'll get a laptop, and I sort of learned a little bit about stuff, and the bigger the memory, apparently the better it works. So I got a 1 terabyte memory capacity in my phone, so that's good because it can fit loads of video in there. And then I wanted to get a terabyte of memory on my laptop. And Samsung, I thought if I get them both the same, they can both talk to each other. Right, that doesn't work. Okay, so the phone it doesn't interact with the computer. It's got a different operating system. Okay, Bill Gates has got something to do with this one, I think, with his bloody Windows. So that didn't go to plan anyway. And somehow, even though I specifically told them I wanted the Samsung, it's a Galaxy Notebook, something or other Pro. I wanted the one with 1 terabyte of memory. They actually sent me the lowest spec one. So I don't know. So that's where I'm at. So I didn't want the lowest spec one. I, I was quite happy to just pay for the best one, but there we are. So I need to upgrade this. The only thing was, though, I didn't want to pay like a couple of £1,000 up front. I thought what I'll do is I'll just get it on a payment plan, because over the course of a year, you know, your laptop, your phone, it all goes off against your tax return. So it'll just help with my tax bill at the end of the year, and it saves me having to lose a big chunk of money out of my pocket. So I didn't care what the bill was. You know, it could have been an extra £50 a month, 60, but whatever. I wouldn't have been that bothered about it. I wanted the best one, and they sent me the worst one. So this is the next thing that needs upgrading. Bloody laptop. Lewis Morrison, first time here. Well, sound welcome. Hope you've got a beer, mate. Funky Gorilla. I heard scaffolding. Yeah. Well, maybe, yeah. Scaffolders, I suppose, do work fairly hard. BJC19, the Guinness now then. No more Budweiser. Mate, do you know what I found? For a couple of years, I've been struggling with reflux when I drink. Now, everyone keeps saying to you, oh, take lansoprazole and all this, but I would rather just cut out what causes reflux. So what I found is processed food, things like Domino's pizza, bread, anything processed, basically, and bread gives me reflux. And if I have a couple of pints, but I found, so I laid off all the ale completely, and then I started testing. Can I have a pint of this? How many pints can I have? Can I have a pint of Stella? 2 pints of Stella? It starts. So then, okay, let's try just vodka. Let's try, you know, different. And I found, because I don't really like drinking top shelf stuff, shorts, and that's not my. I like to drink a pint. So if I go now for a pint, I found I can drink Guinness. There's no fizz in it, and I don't get any issues with it. I can have, you know, a 6, 7, 8, 9. She's not listening. I can have 10 pints of it, you know, I'm fine. She's probably watching in the house. So anyway, where are we going? Matt Williams, Evening Kirk, hope you're well, mucker. Cheers, Matt. Matt Ryan, Evening Kirk, hope you're all good. James Adafoon, can't stick around for long. Got a big job starting tomorrow. Need to get some BB. Yes, straight to bed for you, mate. Plumber boy, your dad looks well. Yeah, he's not doing bad, the old bean. He's all right. Egg boy, what are you drinking yet? I'm on the Guinness. Reds, I think you need a sidekick that can help you get the buckets. Enjoy your vids, Eddie. Cheers, Eddie. You're probably right, mate. I've got my nephew working with me at the minute. He's a good lad. He's in. Now I've had a bit of a tough sort of phone call to make before, actually, talking about work. Tell you what, I'll read these comments and I'll tell you about the predicament that I've found myself in and the sort of conversation I had to have before on the phone. So let's just get to the end of these comments quick. DJ Nipper, at what stage of plastering do you use flexi trowels? When I use flexi, I seem to get ripples when the plaster dries. So I change to a Marshalltown trowel and I get a better finish. DJ, I genuinely don't use flexi trowels at any stage in the process. I was taught without them, and I've just... Give me 1 second. That light's bugging me. That's better. I was taught without flexi trowels. That's my toilet in there, by the way, in case you're wondering what that light is. That's where my little loo is in there. I was taught without flexi trowels, never used them. Now, when they all come out, they were all the rage. I went and got them. I got the Nellas, I got the Refiners, you know, the Superflex 1, 2, the Mediflex. I tried them all, and what I found was the same situation with you. You could plaster a wall and it would look beautiful and shiny and finished, but then if you look down the wall once it's painted and the sun's on it, you'd get the odd ripple, because when you use a solid trowel and there's any imperfections, the fact that you bring up on the plaster, you're going to start filling any imperfections out with it, you know, and you can see them. Or when you're going over with your stainless steel trowel or your carbon steel trowel and you're going over, if there's a hollow, your trowel sort of shows it up because it'll be a different texture. Now, the thing with the flexis is they will go into all those divots. So it'll look one uniform finish to the plasterer's eye, looking straight at it. It looks perfect. But once it's decorated and the sun shines down it, that's when you can have issues. Now, if your wall's mint and flat to start off with, say you're working over just plasterboard all the time, chances are, you just go over perfectly flat walls. It's the same thickness right across, and you're not going to have much of a problem with using flexis. So maybe lads on building sites can use them fine. Get a nice polish on your walls a little bit faster. You can get your 3 hits in quicker. I've got no problem with that. I personally would never use them on private work. Going over Artex and things like that, just forget it. It's for me, it's not for the extra 10 minutes or 20 minutes you can knock off your set. It's not worth it, because for me, it's not about turning out loads of work. It's about just doing quality work and getting the next, getting repeat work. Whereas on site, the faster you can get done, the more, the more you can get done, the more you can get paid. So I get why they come in handy. People say they take the pressure off the wrist, but the thing is, because you don't have to push as hard, because they go in and out, they're not actually flattening the plaster. They just go into the shape of the plaster. That's why you don't have to push as hard. So you got to keep that in mind. Some guys will disagree with me. That's just me. I just don't bother with them. But they do leave a lovely finish. If you've got your walls mint and your walls are definitely flat and you're polishing, then you could switch to one at the end. But by the time you've got there, it's not going to make you any faster. So there's no benefit to you. It's just going to make the wall smoother. And ultimately, the decorator doesn't really want it like glass anyway. So yeah, for me, there's no benefit to them. That was a long answer for a short question, wasn't it? Stephen Power, evening, buddy. Hope you're well. I've looked into your plastering date you are doing, and I'm working nights on that date. Will other dates be available? Many thanks, Steve. We're going to see how it goes, mate. Ultimately, what I want to do is I've got in my mind what I want to do on the day, and as I've said, it's a plastering experience day. So if you've never plastered in your life and you want to see what it's like and get a feel for the materials and come along and have a laugh, then that's what it's for. If you've already started your plastering journey and you've been working with someone and you want to, I don't know, come and work with somebody else for a day and try a few different techniques and different things, I can show you my way of doing stuff. Not that I think my way is better than the person that you've worked with or whatever, just a different way. That's great. I can show you all the things that I think makes me faster or neater. We can do that. So it's good for beginners. It's good for intermediate people. If you're not really that bothered about getting better at plastering at all or having a feel for it, and you just want to come and just throw some flipping plaster on the walls and the ceilings, but have a laugh with us, then you're more than welcome to come along. So it's basically for everyone. What I'm trying to avoid doing is saying it's a plastering course and you're going to learn to plaster by the end of the day, because after one day, you aren't going to turn up in the morning and walk out as a plasterer. It's never going to happen. But I can show you all the things that I think will benefit you and maybe fast forward your journey a little bit. What the plan is, we're going to record everything. You don't have to, it won't be going on YouTube and nothing for yourselves. I'm going to record me. That'll probably get made into something further down the line. But we're going to record as much of you guys as we possibly can for you guys, so you can take the video away with you, or we can put it somewhere where you can access it later, so you can watch back, so you can watch yourself and see where you're going and things like that. And then after that, the plan is, once we've had 2 gauges of plastering, covered everything we need to talk about, answered any questions and all that sort of caper, then we're going to go for a meal at the local pub and have a few pints. That's the day, basically, just a plastering experience day with a few beers and something to eat at the end of it. Anybody's welcome. Now, that said, we're going to see how it goes. I want to see if I enjoy it, because I don't want to do something I don't enjoy. So if everyone comes and they all stress me out, then we won't be doing another one. If you all flipping drive me nuts, then I'll be like, that's it, I'm done. But I also want to make sure that at the end of it, I want to see the feedback and see if people genuinely think it was worth it. Because something I don't want to do is charge people and they come along and then they go, yeah, it was okay. Like buyer's remorse, I want to make sure I can fulfill people's expectations. And if both of those things tick both of the boxes, then we'll do more. So we'll just see how it goes. I will say this: if you want, there's literally one spot available. We spoke about this. I might get in trouble for saying this with Ben. There's 6 bays. There's 6 bays that we can fill up, and I put on the site that there's 6 to go. Ben said he thinks it'd be better if we only did 5, because 5's going to be an easier number. But I don't know. I feel quite confident that we'll be able to easily look after 6 people, because Ben's used to doing this by himself, Liverpool school plastering, whereas I'm going to be there and potentially my mate as well. So there's going to be 3 people, 3 plasterers sort of helping 6 people and rotating round. And, I don't know. We're going to figure it out and have a good laugh. But anyway, 1 spot left at the moment. Ryan Stoddart, what's your opinion on Thistle Pure Finish? I haven't had that much of a go of it. I think it's a fantastic idea. I'm sure, in my opinion, it's a lime-based plaster. British Gypsum haven't revealed the ingredients of Thistle Pure Finish, but when you read the benefits of Pure Finish and then you read the benefits of lime plaster, they're very similar. So I'm almost certain that is a hydrated lime with a little bit of gypsum to set it off. When they used to use lime plaster all the time, they used to gauge it with gypsum plaster to make it set. So that's where the term comes from. You'd be doing lime plastering and you would put a certain amount, a gauge. You've got a gauging trowel, remember? You'd use a gauging trowel to gauge in a certain amount of setting stuff, or plaster of Paris, right? And then that's what it would set it off. So that's where the term comes from. We're going to do a gauge of plastering, because you'd gauge it with this setting stuff. So rather than plastering the walls and it taking maybe 2 days, you'd be able to get, you'd be able to get it done in a day, a gauge of plastering. Hence, anyway, we're going off on a tangent. Fart Nugget 69. Mate, I don't know if you picked that name for yourself or if someone's picked that for you, but you might want to have a look at that Fart Nugget. Oh, have you ever done a fart nugget when you think you can trust a fart and a fart nugget comes out? Oh my God. How long does it take to learn to plaster? How long does it take to learn plastering? This is an interesting question. I think, depending on what you want to learn, if you want to learn how to skim a wall and just skim walls and ceilings, I think with intensive sort of practice, you could be really up to speed and going quite well on a building site, over plasterboard after about 3 months, right? But no one really teaches you like that, because you've got to sort of start at the bottom and you're mixing and you're helping out and you're labouring, you're the apprentice for a while. So it usually takes more, like, before you sort of get up to speed, maybe 6 months, a year. Now, that's skimming, so it depends what part of plastering you want to do. I wanted to be fully competent in every aspect of plastering. So, outside rendering, dashing, flipping monocouche, floating walls, screeding. I wanted to be able to do everything. I would say an average sort of time, if you wanted to be quite competent, work with a good plasterer, about 3 years. If you wanted to, work with someone and learn the ins and outs of everything, I'd say you're better off staying with for about 5 years. Depends what you're trying to do, But on building sites, turning out, if you're just skimming, then shouldn't take too long. You've only sort of got to master one thing, The thing with it is, as well, I think what takes it so much longer is the basic principles of plastering are the same, but you've got to learn how to overcome problems. That's the majority of what plastering is, overcoming different backgrounds, different obstacles. And that's what takes the time, because you can't just say, we're going to do high suction background today, a low suction background tomorrow, we're going to do pebble dashing that day, we're going to do monocouche rendering that way, we're going to do, life doesn't happen like that. So you could be on a building site for maybe skimming houses for 6 months, and then you do one dashing job, and then, you haven't done floating internal walls. Maybe you might do that once a year. So it just takes a long time to get around all the different parts of the trade, in my opinion. Mark Stevens, what's an easy, good video music editor app for social posts, mate? CapCut. That's what I use. I mean, it's just dead easy. CapCut. I'd say is it the best? Is it the most powerful? CapCut suits me for making my videos. Apparently, DaVinci Pro or DaVinci is the best video editing app, and it's what guys that are making like movie quality videos use is DaVinci. But I don't know if it's more complicated. I don't know. I've only ever used CapCut, and that's what I've just stuck with. So, and my editing's absolutely horrendous. I wouldn't ask my advice, to be honest with you. I'd ask someone good. Lewis Marsden, I don't drink, mate, but have one for me. Cheers, Lewis. Do you mind if I have 4 for you, actually? I might have a couple more after this one. Cookie, Guinness lad, get up. Lewis Marsden, happy to be here, top fella. Cheers, Lou. Luke Simister. I think I said that right. As a builder who uses all the trades, I must say, fella, you're a breath of absolute fresh air. Always tune in and watch. Cheers, Luke. To be fair, Luke, I think that's the first time you've ever commented. I've got quite a good memory, and I'd remember your surname, Simister. I haven't seen that before, so appreciate you dropping a comment in. Cheers, pal. TJ LFC, hey, have you worked with Sterling Plastering before? I'm doing a course there. I haven't, mate. No, sorry, I haven't. I don't know who they are. Did you hear that noise? Did you hear that or not? I don't know if you heard that. Where have we gone here now? Oh, flipping! Don't you scroll down to the bottom? Flipping heck! Right, here we go. TJ, have you? Oh yeah, we've done right. Evening Kirk, 666 woos. Evening Kirk, how's things? Been thinking about joining your marketing group this week, mate. Jump in. Look, it's the first week's 20 quid. If you don't like it, just leave. It's 20 quid. I've got to charge something because I've got to keep out nosy people and trolls. Okay, but I mean, you're more than welcome to jump in with us. I think there's about 220 people in the group at the minute, so you're more than welcome. We're actually updating all the videos. I'm going through, and all the whole video course is all getting redone again, and more content added to it. So I'm just slowly working my way through it. Cookie, same. Got issues. Guinness is the future. Yes. Yeah. Reflux is a killer, and I don't want to take any sort of medication if I don't have to. Baby Jesus, red wine for me. Yeah, that's also a winner. Basically, anything that's not fizzy is good to go. I do like red wine as well myself, but what I find is I can drink Guinness all night and I'm fine. If I drink a bottle of red wine, I can feel like I can feel a bit rough off that the next day. So I just find like I'm fine with just pints, BJC19, I totally understand. Nothing worse than acid reflux. Good job that Guinness shortage scare was up. Yes. Yeah, I didn't feel the shortage down my neck of the woods. Don Boris, question, Kirk. Can you skim over BIN and mold paint? Bin and mold paint. I don't know what bin is. I don't know if that's a type of paint, BIN paint. I don't know. A bit over BIN and anti-mold paint. I don't know what that is. I do know this though, mate. If you put SBR over anything and skim over the SBR, it'll stick. Okay. I've literally got a sheet of glass out there with a slab of board finish stuck to it with SBR and it's not coming off. So I'm just in the middle of making a video about it. I've been pulling and I've got the scales and we've had it up to 25 kilograms and it ain't coming off the glass. So I would say you'll be fine. Plumber Boy, I started off with plastic trowels before the flexi trowels. I think plastic trowels actually bring up less water. I've done all the Plasty flexes as well. I think plastic brings up less water than using the super flexes and stuff. Fenwick Fareo. Fenwick Fareo. I am 19 doing plastering level 2 and I don't know how to open my own business. Okay. I've done a video on how to get into plastering. I think it's just called How to Become a Plasterer. You can just go and watch that. That'll give you some good tips, mate. I would potentially, if you're in college doing it, I wouldn't just think to myself, I'm going to come out of college and just set free into the wild, you know. I would potentially first, just for the couple. So here's the thing, right? Mr. Fenwick, I'll call you because I can't pronounce your surname very well. I would say if you just come out of college and just go straight into the wild by yourself, that you are going to take longer to, because college, it's like learning to drive. Okay, when you do your driving lessons and your driving test, you get to a certain standard, but you're not really learning to drive. You know, it's once you're sort of on the road for a while and you get comfortable, it becomes like muscle memory. You change gear without having to think, and you know, you just become a better driver. You're not as edgy. You know, maybe your awareness goes down, but your actual driving improves. You know, it's a lot more smooth and relaxed. I would say with plastering, college is going to get you to a certain point where you understand, but you need to be out in the world, experience more stuff. Now that's going to be a lot easier with someone holding your hand when things go wrong, which they will when you're sort of going out first. It'd be better to be working with somebody who's been doing it a while. So I would potentially, mate, see if you can find a good plasterer that you could team up with or jump in with just for a year or 2 years or 3, you know, what you might really, it's nice working with someone. And the time, say you work with someone for 3 years, and you might think to yourself, well, that means I've had to share the money for 3 years, but you'll be so much further advanced after 3 years. You'll be where it would have took you on your own. Maybe it might have took you 7 or 8 years to get to where you'd be. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Because there's going to be situations that they haven't taught you about in college that you're going to come across, and somebody that's been doing it a long time will go, we just do this and this. Whereas you'd be like, oh, go back to your college books. It's not in here because there's so much stuff that they don't show you in college, you know. There's only so much stuff you can learn in a cubicle and from a textbook and real life experience. You know, there's a lot more to it. So, not knocking the college course, by the way. I'm just saying that's what I'd potentially do, mate. See if you can jump in with another plasterer, potentially. Ian Andrews, when doing skimming ceilings, how do you get where they meet perfect? When doing skimming ceilings, I don't actually know what you mean there. Skilling ceilings. Not sure what you mean, mate. Sorry. I'm not trying to brush your comments off. I just don't want to answer something and go on about something that's the wrong thing. So just give me a bit more context, mate, if you would. Matt, do you have a video that shows how to make the plaster mix? Yes, Matt. Yeah. Just I can't think what it's called. Just type into YouTube how to mix plaster, and I guarantee my video will come up. There's probably videos by other guys, but I've done a video on it, how to mix plaster. So it's in there somewhere. I just can't think what I call them, mate. I can't think of the titles of the videos. Logan Thompson, what's this plastering day you're talking about? Do you know what? This is the thing. Because I don't read through the chat as fast as we're... You probably already know now, Logan, so I don't need to go through it again. If you fancy, if you want to jump on, like I say, there's only one spot left. As soon as it's all sort of gone and we've done the day, if it's good, then we'll do more. So don't worry if it's if it's sort of sold out by the time. Chances are we'll probably do more, but we'll just have to see. But I haven't put the link in the description. If you go to the channel description and find my personal website, kirkjohnstone.co.uk, click on there and there'll be the link for it in there, mate. Danny Harbuckle, evening, mate. I don't rate flexies either, to be fair, as you said. What's the point in getting it one out just for the final trial? However, they ain't bad for thin coat render. That's the only time I use them. Danny knows. He knows the score with me. Andy McIntosh, he's still home with flexies, but I used one last trial to save my arm a bit. After 36 years in and out of the game, I like to try and use stuff. Speed skim's next for me at some point. I would recommend a speed skim. Here's the thing as well. Here's the thing. My old fella loves the flexi trowel. He calls it the magic trowel. So, I think after you've done it for so long, if you've been a plasterer and you've been in the game for a certain amount of time, it becomes quite monotonous, you know. There's sort of, you've got to try and keep finding ways to make it interesting for yourself. And new tools are a definite, you know, it's like having a treat. It puts a little bit more excitement into going back into the job and using your new brush or your new trowel that you've got. So, I mean, there's that side to it as well. I don't want to be a complete killjoy. That's why I switch back and two between stainless steel and carbon steel. You know, sponge float. I don't do sponge floating, but I've done it. You know, all these things that you can do sort of add a little bit of excitement for a month or two, don't we? Sad, aren't we? Sad. I don't know who's more sad, right? Me being a complete plastering nerd, spending my whole time plastering and filming it and editing videos on plastering and come on the internet and talking about it, right? That's quite sad in itself for me. And then I think, and then you guys are watching me as well. So we're just a flipping big sad bunch of flipping nerds, aren't we? What we're going here now. Simon Jackson, any advice on a 42-year-old starting new business and pick up a client base? Thanks. Right, so not trying to plug my group, Simon, but I've literally got a sales and marketing group specifically designed for that, to show you how to bring in loads of work. I would say this: identify who your best customers are, and I'll just tell you straight away who your best customers are going to be. You need to find your best customers and then sort of market yourself towards them. Okay, so I'll just tell you, your best customers are women. It's not sexist, it's just a fact. Most blokes, I don't care if there's a crack in my living room ceiling. I don't care. My missus does. She wants the house like a palace. Most fellas aren't bothered if every ceiling in the house is Artexed. They don't care if there's a crack in the living room wall. There's always an exception to the rule, right? There is some guys that are OCD and they have to have everything. Most fellas aren't really that bothered though. If it's not broke, if the ceiling collapses because the bath's flooded, then the fellas will get it fixed. Okay, if the ceilings come through. But otherwise, they're not bothered. 90% of fellas aren't bothered. So there's the first clue. Your best clientele are women. And then you've got to think then, at what age group are the women the best customers? So when you're starting out in life and you're in your teens or your late teens and your early 20s, how much spare money have you got, you know, to be having your house plastered? When you've got your kids, when you're trying to get by in your career, maybe you're in your late 20s, early 30s, you know, your kids are in school, you've got family holidays. How much spare cash have you got at that age, right? But then you get to a point where, you know, like my parents' point now, the kids have grown up and left home. You're getting close to the retirement age, you know, you're in your late 50s, 60s, and the mortgage is paid off. You've perhaps inherited a load of money from the grandparents, so you get to a point in life, say from 45, 50-ish, they're your sort of best customers onwards, up to a certain point where once they start getting into, 70s, maybe they're not really that bothered then, because they're just thinking, well, we're doing the house up for somebody else, because they're aware. It's the truth, isn't it? So I would say that's your customer that you want to be targeting is, women in the 50s and early 60s, that sort of age range. They're going to be your best customers. They've got the money and they want the job done properly. And then you've just got to think, where are they? How can you find them? If they're on the internet, if they're on Facebook, if they're on Instagram, are they on TikTok? Where are these people? Once you've identified that, which isn't hard to figure out, I just think of my mum. She's not on Snapchat. She's not on Instagram. I know what social media platforms my mum's on. So that's where you would go and find these people. Sorry. I did tell you I was going to say a lot of noises, didn't I? That noise, that ka-ching, that's when someone buys SBR from the online store. Do you ever play Sonic the Hedgehog when you were a kid on the Mega Drive? But I don't know if you had a Sega Mega Drive. I did when I was a kid. And he goes along and he jumps and he collects those little coins as he goes. Well, on the online store where you can buy the pink SBR from me, that every time someone makes a purchase, it makes that little ka-ching noise, and it just sort of, even when you're having a bad day, it makes you smile. Just knowing ka-ching, there's £1 in the pot. Too much info, sir. Kirky looked at your experience day and was very tempted, but with travel and a hotel, it was the cost of a week in Spain. Mate, listen, I don't even need to read anymore. You've said enough. I get it. Maybe next time, or if I can jump in the pub garden. Yeah, you're more than welcome to jump in the pub. Listen, if I had to choose between spending a day with me or going to Tenerife or something on the beer, Kirku, I've never heard of him. Ireland, 1968. Lime engaging plaster, old school lad, mixed up on the board. See, he knows. Make your nice big ring, put your water in the middle. Oh, flipping heck. Egg Boy 2K8. Kirk, any idea when you're coming to Ireland, brother? Yes, it's going to be. I've got an operation in, what's the date today? I've got an operation in 11 days. I'll be going and have my knee done. As soon as my knee's better, the weather up should be nicer, and I'll be on my way over. Maybe, I don't know. I am going to France for a job. So after that, I'll go to France and do a little plastering job over there. And then I'll come back from France, and then it'll be sort of around that time. That'll be my next plan. I'm literally not booking any jobs in. Oh, I did tell you about the phone call I had to make today. So let's just, I haven't got to the end of the comments, but I'll just tell you what's happened, which is, it's crap for me. It's genuinely crap for me. So all my life, I've always wanted to get in as much work as possible, as many leads as possible, and as many good paying repeat customers as possible. At the end of the day, you want to work for people that appreciate a good job and just pay for it. And here's a sad situation that I found myself in now, and it's because of you lot. In a nice way. So I've been working for a window firm, a window fitting company. I do subcontracting work for them, and I go and do their jobs for them. Whenever they need some windows patching up or they build one of these HUP system extensions, I go and do the plaster on it. Now, they're really ramping up their operation, and the fella that runs the thing is a fantastic bloke. He's really going for it. And there's the deal, right? Here's the thing with him. He doesn't ask me to price the jobs. He just sends me the addresses. I turn up. Any materials I want, I just go and get it from the builder's yard and put it on their account. So I haven't got to buy any gear. They just put it on all on their account for them. I go and do the job. It doesn't matter how long I take. They don't put any pressure on me whatsoever. They're just like, Kirk, whatever, just you get it done in your own time. I do the work for them, and then I invoice them whatever I want at the end of it. So if I've had a problem, if something's took me half a day longer, I just bill them at the end of it. Now here's the mad bit. If I put my bill in before dinner time, the man pays me the same day. If I put my bill in after dinner time, I get paid the very next morning. I cannot fault the fella. I genuinely. And to top it off, he's sound as well. Whenever I speak to him on the phone, he's always laughing. He's happy. He's not trying to screw anybody down on the price. He's just a good guy, right? The sad thing for me is I need to make content for my YouTube channel, and you guys don't want to see the same extension getting boarded and skimmed, but a knock through with an extension, a knock through with an extension, and that's all the work is. And I'll put that on silent because it'll drive you nuts, won't it? Give me a second. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but so oh, come on, what am I doing? Bear with me, sorry. 1 second. So the thing is, it's not good for content. I'm struggling, and I had to say to him before on the phone, Steve, listen, I could not have found a better fella to work for than you. I genuinely love working for you. And if I wasn't doing YouTube and me coaching group and plastering courses and selling SBR and all these other things that are going on in my life, this is like a match made in heaven, because you just want nice work and all I want to do is nice work, and money's not a problem. And he would have been fantastic. But the problem I've got is his jobs are taking me the eating too much time. I haven't got the time to do them. I need to be filming other jobs, People want to see other types of plastering jobs in my content. So I've had to basically tell him on the phone that I'm going to honour my commitments, whatever you need, whatever you've got booked in, Steve, I'm not going to leave you in the lurch. We'll get them all done, but I sort of need to pass him on to somebody else, And it's flipping, I could hear it in his voice, that he wasn't angry. I could just sense that he was a bit like, oh, mate, but he was like, Kirk, I get it. You're going in a different direction. You've got to do what's right for you and your family, but anyway, yeah, it was just tough, because when you find someone really good and you just want it, it's like little bromance going on, where you think he's a flipping great guy, I'd just love to just carry on working with him, but anyway, baby Jesus, I've just plasterboarded my 3-bed 1960s house, used 28 bags of Knauf premium joint filler, and it looks good. It's taken 3 months. Fair play, mate. Fair play. 3 months. If you were on a building site, tape and jointing like that, you'd probably have about £5 a day. But fair play for getting it done. You probably have to work in between, so fair dues. Anthony, 1984. Evening, folks. Whoa, that's a good name. Would you agree that there's not enough apprenticeships to fill the trade gaps? Yeah, but I feel like there's not enough incentives to have apprenticeships. I think most working men have or the majority of working men are getting by. They're not making mega amounts of money, because you're thinking as the wages have gone up, the cost of living has gone up a lot more. So it might seem like people are earning great money on the tools, but they're not. By the time they pay everything, there's not much left in the pot. And then how do you take apprentices on and pay them? Because when you take an apprentice, they're just wrecking stuff. They're losing tools. They're flipping doing this. That you've got to pay them. They can't do anything. It's fine. It's how we all learn. But I think the government could make it a lot more incentivized. Cut a lot more of the nonsense out, and YTS schemes and stuff. I don't know. They don't seem to have them, do they? So, Barry Adams, now then, Kirk. Funny story today. I had a job with no toilet. Busting had to go in the back of the van in a bucket. As I'm getting out of the van, customer walking towards me, emptied the bucket on the grass. I don't know I don't know what you had to do in the bucket, whether it was a number 1 or number 2. But all I was going to say to you was, if it's a number 2, make sure you put an empty bag in there first to catch it. We've all been there. Ryan Stoddart, have you ever tried drinking a beer whilst playing a game of five-a-sides? No, I've never played five-a-side either. I'm absolutely rubbish at football, so. Where have we gone here now? Sorry, guys. I keep doing this. What happens is I start going through the comments, and then all of a sudden I just shoot to the bottom by accident. Right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right. I'm going to read these comments fast. So we're just going to do one-word answers quickly, only because there's so many. I'm only halfway down the flipping page here. Ryan Charlotte, have you ever tried drinking? Right, yeah, we've done. Sorry. Barry Adams, customer talking to me, clocked it, pulled a dog poo bag out of his pocket and apologised, said it's still warm. They can't be far when shouting at a dog walker. Oh, my God. Fair play to you, Barry. You're an animal. Customer picking up Barry's poo. Lewis Marsden, go on, lad. Phil S. Kirk, mate, what accelerator do you use for sand and cement, or do you use any? Cheers. No, I don't bother with accelerator for sand and cement. Mark Shepherd, who makes the half time. I don't think there's any there. Can you see those little half time sashes on the wall? He did make an accelerator for sand and cement, and he sent me some, but I never used it because I don't want to accelerate it. There's no point where I've ever wanted to accelerate the setting of sand and cement, to be honest with you. Anthony 1980. I've accelerated K-Rend and other Monaco's renders, and I've just used their K-Rend accelerator. Now that would work on your sand and cement. That's a liquid form, but you can get a powder form as well. I used to know the name of what the liquid was. I can't think off the top of my head. Anthony 94, I've had them all, every size and brand, getting nothing beats the old school steel trial finish. Flexies are dangerous, yeah. And as well, you can cut yourself on them very easily. Madden building and roofing, even Kirkhope's all good. Cheers, my mate, thank you. Alan Smith, you post great videos. I'm self-taught plasterer from watching YouTube videos. I wish you had been on the go 15 years ago. Do you know what, mate? So do I. If I was 15 years into it now, mate, flipping heck, I'd be a millionaire. I'm only messing, I wouldn't, but I wish I'd started this 15 years. Do you know what? I only want to get to 100,000 subscribers. That was my goal. When I started getting into the YouTube thing, I thought, you know what? I'd love to get to 100,000 subscribers. And I thought it'd never happen. And now I'm like 4,000 off. I mean, if we could just get 4,000 people to click like that, I'm going to get a silver play button off YouTube, and I'll have it up there as soon as it lands. Go and get all your family to subscribe. Will you get your kids on it and everything? The Wondering Mason. I can't skim stones, let alone plaster. Yeah, I'm the same, mate. I know the feeling. Secret, hi Kirk. I'm a part-time plasterer. Love your videos. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you very much. Kevin Thomas, evening. How you doing, pal? P17 interiors, Stella. Yeah, I do like a Stella, but it doesn't seem to like me anymore. Adam, 2006. If there was an election tomorrow, who would you vote for? You don't come across as a Labour voter, thankfully. I don't like any British politics, to be honest. There's nobody in the British politics. I don't like politics at all. The only person that stands out to me, and I just like him because he's flipping nuts, is this dude. Now, people hate him. I just like him because he's not a politician. I just don't like politicians because they say one thing and they do another. And I think if you say it, you should do it. So I like Trump because he's flipping. He says what he thinks. Some people hate him. My best mate absolutely hates Trump. I always say this as well to try and justify it. Here's my thinking. My best mate hates Trump. I still love my best mate, and he still loves me. We're still good mates, even though we don't like the same things. So some people have it in their mind that because you like him and I like him, we can't be friends. If that's your way of thinking, then feel free to leave. So I won't miss you. But if you can accept that people have got differences, then I also accept people with different opinions. Say I don't know. SANA. Hi, I added plasterboards in a room. Can I paint on the plasterboard, or do I have to skim it? Or do I have to skim it or plaster it? No, you can fill the joints and paint it, mate. That's basically what tape and jointing is. So as long as you're happy with the finish, you can paint directly onto plasterboards, not a problem. Frankie Ball, evening, Kurt, mate. Hope's all good. Was watching your video the other day on blending in one. How do you put up with the trolls, mate? Painful. Do you know what? To be honest with you, I actually like the trolls, Frankie. I know it sounds crazy. If everyone in the comments was trolling me, it'd probably do me head in. It'd probably drive me nuts. But here's the thing. Trolls are actually good for me channel. They're good for me on TikTok, they're good for me on Facebook, and they're good on me YouTube because they create interaction. So YouTube is watching how much interaction a video gets. If everyone just watched my video and didn't like it, didn't click the like button, didn't click the subscribe button, or didn't click the comment section, then I would get less views because YouTube pushes the video into your feed, basically. So the more people interact with the video, the further the video goes. So trolls are actually good because they create a lot of engagement and it gives me an opportunity. Here's the other thing you got to think. Not everyone's a troll. I know the nature of men. I've worked with loads and loads of blokes, and some men are too proud to ask a question. See, I'm quite a humble guy, me. If I don't know how to do something, or if I don't understand something, I'll just go to the person doing it and say, explain this to me. I know you know what you're doing. Tell me how that works. Right. That's just my humble approach because I'm just happy to say, I don't know. Teach me. Some fellas won't ask you like that. So what they'll do instead is they'll attack you. So, for instance, I'll say, skim over SBR. And instead of saying, how does that work, Kirk? Are you sure it's okay? Can you explain it to me? They'll just say, you can't skim over SBR because then I explain why you can, and then they're understanding it then. So not everybody that gives you negativity or attacks you is doing it to hurt you. It's more so they get the understanding themselves. Does that make sense? So a lot of times you'll find you'll explain something and people will attack you until you prove it outright, and then they'll go around telling other people, yeah, you should do this, this, and this. And it's like, hang on, you were flipping giving me stick about this the other day. So it's interesting, and it's just the nature of people, some people are like that. So I don't mind trolls. That said, I think if anybody started attacking sort of me family, then I'll get upset about it. But there's nothing they can say to me that would upset me. Someone said on TikTok the other day, so about me being fat. I said, flipping it, mate. Give it a rest. I've had a lot on my plate lately. Matty. Evening, Kurt. Been plastering for 5 or 6 years and gone self-employed recently, but struggling to pull the work in. Any tips or advice would be appreciated. Show your work. Show your work. What you are doing. Make sure that if you're on any sort of social media, that people can see what you are doing, mate. If you, I mean, you don't want to spam people. You don't want to completely destroy your news feed with just you posting whatever job you're in. If you're a plasterer, you just want to bombard people with plastering posts on your social media. But make sure that everyone that's on there knows you're a plasterer. You know, make sure they can see the quality of work that you do. That'd be a good start, you know. A firmament joinery, Evening Kirk. I'm no plasterer, but couldn't find anybody to with lime experience to plaster my home. Resorted to having a go myself and found your videos really helpful. Just wanted to thank you. Not a problem, mate. What you'll find with plastering is, and here's a little tip for anybody that is considering doing any sort of specialist plastering, be it whether you want to get into doing damp proofing or lime plastering or monocouche rendering or anything at all. The basic principles of plastering apply across the board. Once you can use a handboard and trowel or a hawk and trowel, and you know how to get the gear on the wall, that's the method you're going to use. All that changes is the materials you're applying and the times and what products you're going to use. That's it, basically. But it's the basic skills are the same, you know. If you can plaster a wall with multi-finish, you can plaster a wall of lime. All you need to do is just learn what the different characteristics of lime are and what you have to do. Do you have to put it on thinner, thicker, leave it longer, hydrate the wall? There's just different variations. So once you actually learn to plaster, you can basically do everything. You just need to understand how that material works. What a lot of fellas do is gatekeep. They try and make it sound super complicated for two reasons. They don't want you stealing their work because they think there's a limited amount, and if everybody did it, then there would be no work, which is, you can understand the mindset, although it doesn't work like that. And the second thing is, they want to make themselves feel really smart and make you feel really thick. They don't want to make you feel thick. They just want to make themselves feel really smart. So, yeah, ultimately, fart nugget. Gets me that name. Anthony, Carl Henson. Hi, Kirk. I'm looking to repair damaged, chipped, and flaking sand and cement render on my house. What is best to prime the damaged areas with before patching? Thanks. SBR. SBR. If you're going to prime externally, so there's another external primer which is SBR based, but it's got a grit in it, so you can use Rendade. There's other external primers, and basically they're just coloured with a grit, but they're all basically SBR based. You don't want to put PVA outside, even though there are things on the internet about using PVA outside. Trust me, I wouldn't bother, only because it re-emulsifies when it gets wet. So in the winter time, you know, it's raining a lot, the PVA is going to go back tacky again. So SBR doesn't do that, you know. Habaristra. When I go into Home Depot and ask them, where do you stock the render, they call security. Yeah, stucco where you're from. If you're in Home Depot in America, then it's stucco, isn't it? Harry Hargraves, like Kurt, this week I've had a ceiling that was painted in satin wood paint. Do things get better with this job? Yeah. Tell me about it, mate. Frankie Ball, Kirk, you're going to show any vids of this training day, or you're going to do? Reckon it would be good. Watch that, mate. Yeah, ultimately, I potentially will do something because we're going to film as much as possible. But you've got to take into account that not everybody that's going to come will want to be on camera. So I'm going to ask them if they would like to be filmed. If they want to be filmed for their own benefit, then I'll let them keep the videos of themselves. If they feel under pressure and they don't want someone with a camera in the face, then they won't be filmed. You know, it's whatever they're comfortable with. But what I'm talking about, what, you know, if I'm doing sort of my school teacher instructing, like do this and try it like this, that'll all be getting filmed. So the camera will be on me, not so much on the people that are there, unless they want it on them. And then it's up to them whether they want it to sort of be just personally for them or they mind it going out to the internet, ultimately, you know. Quite flexible, but we'll just see what people want to do. Lewis Marsden, yeah, mate. We'd all needs been skimming all day. Then we come home and watch skimming. Oh, we're all nerds, yeah. Come home and watch skimming videos. David Matthews, not sad, Kurt, because you're legends. See how far back in the chat I am. Anyway, whoa, 20 quid. Noticed a lot more people leaving construction younger to avoid being knackered in the 50s. What's your opinion? Cheers, mate. Thank you very much for the tip. That will go nicely towards more Guinness. Thank you. What's your opinion on people leaving construction? It's sad for me watching. I'm watching the building game, and all I keep seeing is the skill that was around that taught my old fella has gone. So that knowledge is gone altogether. Now, my dad's generation in the 60s, the boys that are like old school that can float and set, they're going. They're nearly gone. And it's sort of like my generation now. I'm like 38. There's a few in my generation. I sort of class myself as quite lucky that my dad taught me a lot of the stuff that he knew how to float and set, rather than just dry lining and skimming. You know, how to do line work, pebble dashing, all the good stuff. I'm quite happy that I got to learn all that. But once they're gone, once we're gone, if we don't pass this on, then all you're going to basically have is lads that can board and skim, and that's it. And that's fine, because that's all the work that's there. But isn't it sad that we come so far and we had so much skill, and it's just been declining since like World War One, really. You go around, look at any buildings that were built in like 1890, look at the work involved in them, and then look at the skill that's around now. It has been on a decline ever since then. Tartaria. Who's on to Tartaria? The Tartarians built it. Well, interesting little bit of info for you. I think William Miller was a Tartarian then, because in this book here, if you're aware of what I'm saying, this will make sense to you. In this book here, all those buildings, it shows you how to do all that work. Ian Andrews, when plastering internal corners that are not at 90 degrees, how do you get them to meet neatly? I just work into them, mate. I just work into them. It doesn't have to be 90 degrees for me. As long as the surface that you're working on, you work it both ways and it's flat and you keep the edges clean, then they'll just meet nice and neat anyway, whatever angle it is. Kieran Thomas Kirk, when the opportunity ever comes, can you please do a little video regarding plinths, particularly step downs in them? Cheers. Okay. When I go to Ireland, that's all we'll be doing, no doubt, with Mark Neeson. He doesn't even know this. I keep threatening. I am going to see Mark. So yeah, Mark does a lot of plinth work, and I'll be able to jump in with him. For me, unfortunately, I don't even get asked to do sand and cement render anymore, let alone plinths. Nobody's asked me to do a pebble dashing job or anything for the last 8-9 years. It's literally all monochrome render and modern renders thin coat, But yes, we will do. Chris Swan, I ordered some yesterday. Hope to see a few half times in the packaging. Mate, I hope you get some as well. Let me know if you don't, and we'll get some out to you. Malin Building and Roofing. I've just bought a Victorian mid-terraced house, and I'm doing it up. It's got solid 9-inch on the back and solid stone fill on the front. Was going to sand and cement and render with waterproof on the inside, only as it's worked. Yeah, that's one way of doing it, is to waterproof the inside lining, like what you're saying. The other way, you could stay, a purist and do it all lime plaster internally, and it'd be a lot nicer to work with, but you just got to use a breathable paint. What you'll find is lime plastering, the air quality in your house will be better. But I'm not trying to steer you one way or another. You can use sand and cement with waterproofer, but it's just another option. If you want to look at the lime plaster and you're not sure which way to go with it, and you want something that feels a little bit more what you're used to, have a look at a company called Adaptivate. And Adaptivate, what's the stuff called now? Adaptivate are the company, and they make lime plasters that mimic what we have now. So they have like a back coat plaster that sets, and is similar to using as bonding coat, and they have finishing plasters. They're making it really easy. You know, you can have two gauges a day with their lime plaster, and it's all reinforced with the wood fibers and all that sort of cable. It's interesting stuff what they're doing. Can't think what it's called. I know what the company's called is Adaptivate, but it's on the tip of my tongue anyway. I actually did a video with it. Go have a look at the video with for the log burner that I did. I plastered the inside of a log burner, and we used a lime because lime doesn't crack when you put too much heat on it. You know, it's fine. For me in the past, just wondering if it's better to go the out and out traditional route of lime. Sorry, I should have read the second statement. What do you reckon is best? If I had the choice, mate, if I was in your position, and because lime will cost a bit more and potentially take you a bit longer, but if that wasn't too much of an issue, then I would go for lime. I genuinely would. Don't forget that was what the building was originally plastered with. That's what the system that worked originally was, a lime plastering system. So, where are we up to here now? Ningus21. I asked your advice a few weeks ago regarding SBR. I had SBR the ceiling and a few walls and a few weeks off because I broke my finger. I went back to a job and skimmed it 3 weeks later. Perfect. Good. Top man. Thanks for letting me know it went well for you. Habit Rister. Oh, mate, thank you very much. Thank you for the tip, mate. You're a gentleman. Harvard MBAs agree to succeed in business. One needs to know how to feel comfortable talking to strangers. Start talking to grandmas and work your way down to 20-something hotties. That's good advice. That is very good. In fact, in my sales and marketing coaching group, where I show people how to bring in loads of work, that is one of the first things I ask people to do, is to just get used to talking to people. Just go out. Giving you this for free. He's already said it anyway. So just go out. If you want to get better at selling, if you want to get better at when you're pricing jobs, at putting when you go and price a job and you talk to a customer, you want them to feel comfortable with you. It should feel like a friendship. Nobody wants to be sold to. Nobody wants to have their arm twisted or a mega deal. What people want to feel is that you're their friend and you're going to be doing a job with them. That's it. So the best salesmen are people that can make friends fast. The best salesmen make friends like that, not customers. They don't sell people. The best salesmen don't sell to people. They make friends like that. That is what you need to do. So practice when you're out and about. Good morning. As you pass on the street, chat to people in the queue, petrol station, spark up little conversations with all different types of people. Get really comfortable talking to anybody. And then when you go to price a job, or when you go and you're with a customer, you will be able to start a conversation and you'll feel relaxed around them. When you turn up and you're like, what do you need doing? Okay, I'll have to have a think about it. The whole experience is awkward for both of you. So you want to be comfortable around strangers. So your mum always told you don't talk to strangers, and Kirk's telling you get out there and do it. SMNGRM. Evening, Kirk. I've stripped some wallpaper today. Plaster underneath is okay, but the corner beads are oak with a rounded profile. Will prefer sharp corners. How do I deal with them? Mate. Now, you're going to get me in trouble here, mate. You're going to get me in trouble. So, here's the proper way of doing it. No doubt that'll be lime plaster on the walls that's already there, okay? Or it'd be sand and cement. More than likely lime plaster. Now, what's going to happen is those beads, if you put a normal skim bead over the top of them and skim them, they're going to swell up, they're going to get wet, and they're going to swell. And then the plaster's going to set, and then the beads are going to dry out over the next couple of days and shrink, and you're going to get two lovely cracks down the side of the bead, okay? Some guys say put some scrim on, and it's like 50-50 chance whether it's going to crack or not. It more than likely will. So The textbook way would be to take them out. Now, what happens is they've been nailed in, right, with nails about that long into wooden wedges that are between the courses of brick. There'll be about 3 or 4 of them wedged into the brick and then nailed in. Okay. The textbook way would be to take all that out. But what can happen is, and then replace it with the same plaster that's there. So if it's lime plaster, take it out, fill it back in with lime. If it's sand and cement, fill it back in with sand and cement. Some guys will use bonding, but remember, bonding can cause damping solid 9-inch walls. Okay. So that's one way. That's the textbook way. When you take it out, those plugs as they come out are going to disturb the walls. And what can end up happening is, say your chimney breast, as you pull those out of the chimney breast, that you end up losing all the plaster of the whole chimney breast because it's just loosens one bit. And as you take that off, it loosens the next bit and so on. And the whole lot's gone. So give us a second. Someone's knocking. Yo. Hi, sweetheart. You okay?
Yeah, I'm going to order McDonald's. Do you like anything?
Yes.
I'm ordering it off my
Can you hear this or not? Just cover your ears a minute. I'll have a Big Mac meal with a vanilla milkshake, please. Thank you very much. Cheesy bites. Cheesy bites, yeah. Thank you. I love you. That's my youngest daughter. She's ace. Right. So where was I? So you could potentially end up losing the whole wall. It can all come off. So here's a little hack of a way to get round that. It's not textbook, and some people might say you're a cowboy for doing it. But in my experience, most people that want the living room skimming don't want the crack down that bead, and they also don't want the whole wall to fall off when you pull them out. So I would always offer the customer the option and say there is this way of doing it also, which is going to be cheaper, but it's not textbook. First off, you've got to stop the bead getting wet. When it gets wet, that's what causes the problem. So put duct tape over the bead, okay, and go past it. So I put a bit of duct tape on one side of the corner, a bit of duct tape on the other side, and then a bit of duct tape over the joint, okay? So now no moisture can get to that wooden bead, okay? Now the problem you've got is your plaster won't stick to the duct tape. So then SBR over all that. Then put some scrim over the duct tape and then put your bead on top, and then you can nail the bead in. Okay. So now your bead's waterproofed, it's concealed inside there, and the skim will stick to the front of the duct tape because it's got scrim and SBR and it's beaded. So I've never ever seen that come off. It's never delaminated on me. And that way you can skim over it and it won't get wet and swell and shrink and crack. Is that the correct way of doing it? No. Does it work? 100% of the time, yes. Does it sound a bit, yeah, but trust me, in real life situations, that's what I do. In a real life situation, that's what works for me. Is it ideal? No, but it'll work. Okay, so get loads of trolls now. Say, it's a cowboy, duct tape and foam. Just saying how it is. You find little hacks, don't you? Little ways of getting over certain situations, you know. David James, how we doing? I'm good, thank you, mate. What have we done here now? Do you know what? Do you think anyone will mind if we just skip to the bottom of the comments? Just because I'm so far behind in the chat here. No, let's not do that to anyone. Listen, if you've commented, I'm going to read your comments. Do me a favor, though, guys. Let me just catch up. If you can just give me 1 second and don't comment anything else, just let me get to the bottom of the chat as fast as I can. And then if you've got any questions, we'll do a few questions before I go and have my McDonald's. So just hold fire on the commenting for 1 second. Stephen Scarf, Kirk, when you come to Ireland, would you be interested in plastering my kitchen? I live in Dublin. Potentially, mate. Depends how long I'm there for. But yes, potentially, we could sort that out. I will let you know beforehand. When I'm planning to go, you will have plenty of notice and we can sort anything like that out on the way. Kurt Smith, sub out. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Andrew Antonio, evening, Kurt. Love the videos and humour, mate. I have the dreaded job tomorrow with building out and forming a curved staircase from a loft conversion. don't you just love EML, bonding and cement? Yes. Yeah. It just take your time. You'll enjoy it. Get your flexi trial out for when you're skimming it. Chris Swan would love to see how you would price the window company if you were trying to get them into work from a contractor, HR rate or day rate. Would love to see how you price the window company if you were trying to get into work. So I don't. Sorry, I'm not getting the gist of it. But I'll tell you, I price them. I pretty much just work out my time, how much I want for a day, plus a bit of profit, plus make sure all the materials are covered, and that's it. I'm very fair with people, builders, and what you got to think is people that give you repeat work. You don't want to bite them too hard, okay? Because they need to make some profit themselves. That's how business works. So as long as you're getting a good rate, the thing with people that give you repeat work, you haven't got to go and get the jobs in and get the customers in. All you have to do is turn up and do the job. So don't hurt them too much. If I'm working directly for the public and I've had to go there and be a salesman and price the job and win the contract and get the materials and sort everything out from start to finish, then I charge for that. If a builder's just phoned me and said, Kurt, can you come and just plaster this room for me? Then I haven't had to do all that legwork that he's done. So my rate is different then. So I'm not as wild with the pricing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then that way it doesn't hurt him too much and he can continue to give me work. Now, I'm not saying work for cheap and I'm not saying do mate rates or anything like that. I'm just saying, I have sort of a rate that I'm happy to just turn up and do the job for, as opposed to if I have to, go and get the work myself. Kurt Smith, get a couple of lads to do them jobs. Do you know what? I actually spoke to, it's interesting you saying this. I spoke to the fellow about that and said to him, I could just get lads in to do the work for you, but I like him that much. I wouldn't want to make money on the lads. So I wouldn't want to make, the thing is, when you got lads working for you, they know you're making money on them. They don't like it. And the fellow I'm doing the job for knows I'm making money and they're doing the job. So he doesn't like it. And ultimately, we all need the money. I mean, I could always do with more money, but I'm not desperate for it. I'd rather just let him feel happy and me just be his mate and I'll help him out if he's ever stuck, rather than me sort of trying to worm my way in and sort of, and I've got the stress then if something goes wrong or they don't turn up. And I've tried having lads work for me in the past, mate. It's a flipping nightmare. It's like herding plasterers, right? Monday morning. Where's Jimmy? Jimmy's still at a party. You phone his house. Yeah, he hasn't come home yet. His missus is giving you stick. You shouldn't have paid him. You should have given me his wages. I haven't seen him since Friday. Forget that, mate. Forget it. Don't try and employ plasterers, mate. You're flipping setting yourself up for an early grave. Luke Vickety, 3 months. BJC 19. Best thing about that window firm job is YouTube and everything goes. So you'll be able to go back to them after settling things on good terms. Yeah, 100%, mate. I've never struggled for work, to be honest with you, mate. I've never really struggled to get work in. It's just a shame because he's such a nice guy, and there's genuinely no other reason. I'd love to keep working for him. It's just the work's in the way. Chris Swan, Nibs, he's talking about you. How many pails you broke last month? Oh, and a paddle cord, yes. AJ Bubs, evening, Kurt. Wise words from your dad. Always leave it nice. Could your dad not do the jobs for Steve? My dad's retired, mate. He's not in good health. He's okay. He's got a blood clot in his leg, so he can't get up and down hop ups. He can't go up and down ladders. So basically on the shelf, he's useless. He's good for the pints. That's what he's good for. Charlie Ferns Barnes Costa, have you ever rejected materials? Yes, a couple of times. Belgium, Andy McIntosh, started in 1988 as a YTS bricklayer, but switched to plastering. The schemes were cheap labour, but it got me a trade. Yeah, it'd be good if there was schemes out nowadays, I think. Denzel, I've gone off plasterboard since cement board and a shower out now. I do the walls with cement board. It's easy to skim. Yeah, just be high suction, so just be careful which cement boards you use, and which primer you use to seal them. SMNGRM. Can you change your name to something I can read faster? Oh, no, sorry, it's too much info. I'm one of them. Would love to become a Sparky, but simply cannot afford the apprenticeship time. Tends not to pay a mortgage. School never exposed me to trades. Just office, office, office. 1 second. What's up, love? You want my bank card? I'm paying for the McDonald's now. Here we go. The bank of dad. Yeah, chicken.
Which one's sound?
Yeah, Starling Bank. Yeah, all right, the blue card. All right, love. Yeah, the sky blue one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Go gentle on me. No promises. 13-year-old. Go gentle on my bank card. No promises. Mendy Hoysen. Mendy. Let's just say Mendy. Hey, buddy, I've just wanted to thank you for the educational videos you shared. With your help, I was able to learn to do plastering myself. I really appreciate it. Mendy, thank you, mate. Thank you for the nice message. What you should do is, next one, if you could put your name out in syllables for me so I can read it. Hoysen, Mendy. We'll just cut Mr. Mendy. Thank you for your nice message, mate. UK shares. I'm currently applying for apprenticeships. It's stressful, but I'm excited to get in. Fair play, mate. Egg boy, Trump's hilarious. I love the legend. I think he's funny. I think he's funny, but I think he's serious as well. He says funny things, but I genuinely think he's not messing about and he is trying his hardest, which I like. I feel like he's actually trying. But here's the funny thing, right? Just going to go off on a little tangent for 1 second. I like Trump. My mate doesn't like Trump. We both watch TikTok, and guess what happens? The algorithm on my TikTok feeds me videos of pro-Trump stuff, right? So all I see is all the good things he's doing, signing executive orders, saving money, all this, right? My mate, because he watches negative stuff, all he gets fed is So depending on which side of the fence you're on, your viewpoint can become compounded by the algorithm that just keeps feeding you more and more of the same content. So my mate can't comprehend a single. He doesn't see a single good thing that Trump does. All he sees is bad stuff. He's a rapist, a convicted felonist. He's been, all this bad stuff is just rammed down his throat permanently. He never sees any of the good stuff. But on the flip side of it, I never see any of the bad stuff. So you got to be careful because social media can change your view of stuff, That's sorry. One more thing though. That's a nice thing that Trump done, is took away social media's rights to be able to I can't think how to word it properly. But anyway, silencing people, especially on X, doesn't happen. And he's passed a few bills. I can't remember the ins and outs. I'm not even the best person to talk about it. Just forget it. I don't want to get into it. Mark, do you get some every night? So what? Some Guinness? I would say, mate, I know what you're alluding towards. Do I get some every night? I would say if I wanted it, I could have it. But I'm sort of, mate, I'm 38. I can't be asked. Once a week's enough for me. Once a fortnight. Every time I look at my missus, we have another kid. I've got a 2-year-old. I've got a 21-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. Do you think I'm flipping? I want a single bed. Do you know how much it costs to have flipping nookie? The kids that come out of it, it's not worth it. I would sooner have 6 cans of Guinness and a nice big Indian and go to bed with a big bloated belly and just fall asleep. That'll do me perfect, mate. No hassle. Nicholas Fellows, hello, Kirk. All right, chap. Moved to Spain for work and bought myself a little house, which I've been plastering away thanks to your videos. First baby on the way very soon, so deadline's on. Enjoy it, mate. Congratulations as well. Congratulations on the baby. Luke Vickery, you seem like a good man. Cheers, Luke. Thank you, mate. Many would disagree, especially my wife. Bazza, is using a thin piled roller better for SBR than use a thick piled roller the other day and got covered in it? I have no preference. Probably best asking a painter. I personally don't know what's best. I just use whatever because they wear out. You use them, they go rusty, they fall apart. I just whatever is in the builders merchants. That's what I'll use. Mendy, Mr. Mendy. You explained every detail step by step from mixing the plaster to applying it on the wall, whether we are right-handed or left-handed, and finally how to smooth it out. Thank you, mate. I appreciate your messaging because you appreciated the video, so thank you. Sarge Blue, Evening Kirk. Boom, boom. I got the joke. Oh, okay, I can't remember where we're up to, but good. Chris Hatfield. Hi, Kurt. Great content as always. I'm Devin dividing my living room with a stud. I'm okay. Predictive text's got you, but I've worked it out. I'm dividing my living room with a stud wall. Do I need to use pink boards or standard? Many thanks. Depends what you divide. It all depends on not so much what I say, but more so what the local authority would say, the council or your architect. I mean, look, if it's your house, here's what I'd do. Here's what I'd do if I was putting a stud wall up in my house. Sorted?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. If I was putting a stud wall up in my house, here's exactly what I'd do. Build a stud wall. Make sure you've got 3 extra sockets on both sides because, trust me, there'll be plugs to go in them. If they aren't invented yet, there'll be more things to plug in the future. So put loads of sockets on both sides, especially ones with USB attachments in them, because everyone can do with charging the phone up. I would also then OSB board or ply board both sides of the wall. Make it solid with OSB or ply, because then in the future you can get a fixing anywhere in your wall. You never know if you want a shelf, if you want to put a speaker up, or you want to anything. It won't crack. Stagger the joints. You won't be able to get a crack on the wall if someone bangs into it. Just completely timber both sides of it with OSB or plywood, and then board on top of it. And why not use fireline boards if it's your own house? I mean, they're more expensive, but you've got the peace of mind that they're on there, haven't you? So that if it's your own place and there's no, then don't spare the expense. Go all out. That's what I'd do. Omar, given how good Charles are for the algorithm, might be worth having a think about troll bait videos. Start targeting them. I do on TikTok, to be fair. Sarge Blue, thank the government for YTS. Bring it back. I know. Hadley Jones, message is gone, mate. I don't know where it's gone. I haven't done it. But I've seen another one's gone as well from a comment further down. It's not me retracting them, mate, so I don't know what you've said, but they're gone. Poo Pot, I've had a lot on my plate lately. Your reason for being fat. I see what you did there, Kirk. Listen, everyone's an expert. I, for one, appreciate you greatly. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Dean Mills, hey, Kirk, I'm putting a door in, been putting timber above. Is render either side? It's rendered either side. Is there a board that I can pin up and render on? Not specifically, just straight onto. So you can put cement board on, and then you can use a base coat like HPX that K-Rend do, or you can use. So on top of a cement board, you can use HPX by K-Rend, or you can use. Flipping heck, I've just been using this stuff. Eco Rendu one. It's called FX4. You can use FX4. And these two products are designed to they stick to anything, and then you're good to go. And you can top coat it with the same product and rub it up smooth or whatever you need to do, or you can key it deeply and put another product on top because it'll have a mechanical key. Then you're good to go. Or the old school way of doing it was board it with whatever you want and then put some felt over it and then put some expanding metal lath over that. You could do it that way. Or you could literally put timber laths and plaster into that. Just, there's a few different ways you could do it, to be honest with you, right? Poo Pot Training Day starring Kirk Johnstone. Sorry, had to do it. Cheers, mate. Luke Pink. I can't remember where we were up to with that comments. Hadley, here we go. Here's one of your comments, mate. Hadley Jones. Hi, mate. Hope you're well. I've sent over on WhatsApp a job customer renting out. There's been some damp. See what your thoughts are when you get a minute. I will do, mate. I try and go through my WhatsApps once a day, so as soon as I take a look, mate, I'll get straight back to you. Dominic Hepworth. Have you done any pebble dashing videos? No, I haven't, unfortunately. We did start to do a pebble dashing video. Let me just loosen my belt. Again, this is taking effect. And it's getting a bit tight. Cutting off circulation to my legs here. We started filming a pebble dashing job. And then on the second go round, when we got back there to dash, I was on my own and the lad was very busy. So we didn't get to film the second half of it. So we just had to scrap it and just get the job done. That's the sad thing sometimes. Sometimes I'm moving into a position where I can just film everything. Whereas I was sort of in a position where I had to sort of make money doing the plastering jobs and I could film at the same time. I'm slowly getting to the position, which is a beautiful place to be at, where I can just focus on making the videos. The money off the job isn't so important, so we will do pebble dashing videos, but I haven't as of yet. Denzel, lime plastering is a must for exterior. I also used it for wood burner surround, and the plaster can expand and contract without cracking. Finish the lime plaster with stone paint. Spot on. Any breathable paint's going to be fine, but yeah, I don't know about stone paint. Maybe that's good for round wood burners. I don't know. I actually don't get involved with the painting side of things. I just leave that to the decorators. But Luke Vickery, 12 pints deep, pal. But I would still light you up plastering or bare knuckle. Sound okay? That sounds like a challenge that we might have to have a look at. Come to Ireland and we'll see. We'll see what you like at plastering. And if you're better at plastering, we'll have a fight at the end of it. Satan Cloud 9. I've changed to use SBR since watching your videos, but sometimes it's still got a lot of suction and goes off quick. Shall I 2-coat of SBR or am I using cheap stuff? Use it neat. Use it neat. And if you're on a high suction background, give it longer to cure. If you're on a really high suction background, give it to the next day. Maybe if you're rolling it on, maybe roll it on twice. Make sure it's completely covered. Anthony 1984 was talking to Mark Neeson. He mentioned you may be coming over, and did we fancy meeting up in the city for a few drinks? Would love to meet up for the crack if working and family commitments allowed it. And Mark knows I'm coming. That's the best thing. He knows I'm on my way. Slade, hi Kirk, seen you on Roger's channel, Skill Builder. I just bought my first home and you inspired me to give plastering my front room a go from all your handy tips. Enjoyed learning about your trade. Cheers, mate. Hope you enjoy it. Come on, gang. Do you use SBR neat or watered down? Neat. Just use it neat. Don't water it down. You can water it down, but it gets into a tricky situation of how much water you're adding, so just use it neat. You won't go wrong. Oh, I've done it again. There we go. Martin Building and Roofing. Cheers, pal. We'll definitely have a look at that. Forgot to say, I was planning on adding 50mm of foil back insulation to the inside of the external wall. Would this affect the traditional lime plaster? To the inside of the external wall. Depends if you okay. So if you're putting in the cavity, if there's a cavity, then let me just read this again. Forgot to say, I was planning on adding 50 mil foil-backed insulation on the inside of the external wall. Will this affect the traditional lime plaster? Yeah, you won't be able to lime plaster over foil-back board. It won't stick to it. If you wanted a different way of insulating, I don't know whether it's going to be efficient as foil-back board, and I've not done any of it. I'm just saying, just if you're looking at stuff, go and look at this stuff. Go and look at a cork sol. So there's an insulation plaster that's a cork-based plaster. Now, you know, cork is the most flipping, it's the best insulator on the planet. I think they use cork in like spaceships and, you know, rockets and stuff because the insulation values of cork is fantastic. They've actually created a plaster that you put cork on the walls, you spray it on. I don't know if you can hand apply it, I don't know. And then you can skim over it. Have a look at that cork sol. Have a look at the values of it, you know, what the thermal values of it are compared to the insulation you're doing. And it might be more beneficial to go down that route instead. Superior EV10. Hi, mate. All your videos are great. They've really helped me. Recently got 5 tub box of SBR. Good stuff. I must have missed the freebies. Keep up the good work, the vids. Yeah. Sorry, mate. February, we thought we'd just throw a load of free stuff out in February. Chris Swan, did you know you can ask for extra Big Mac sauce on a burger for free? So much nicer. It's too late to order now. I wish I'd read that earlier. Seth, just wanted to say you're a legend, mate. Love your videos. Great help with the plastering. Doing my own renovations soon on house flips. So with your help and advice, my skills are coming on. Top man. Thank you very much, mate. Good luck with all the flips. B Gamble, how you doing, mate? Chris Swan, anything after this comment was after you asked them to stop, lol. There's quite a few after this, Chris. Yeah, there's loads, Chris. Flipping heck, here we go. So let's read the naughty comments now. Right, SL, your channel just popped up. I'm a woman who has no idea what you're talking about, but I love it. Keep going, Kirk. You're the top man and human. You boys need to talk more. So basically, we're just a plastering. This is a plastering channel for plasterers, and then we have a little chat on a Sunday and have a beer. It's like being down the pub for me, but I can't get in trouble because I'm only in my workshop. My missus can see me through the window. Big Gamble, are you going to do more skimming videos? Yes, there's lots more of those in the pipeline. Skimming, I'm in Southport if you fancy risking the wrath of YouTube by duct taping my oak beads on a video. Yeah, you're not far away from me, to be fair, Southport. It's something we can do in the future. I'm a bit under the whip at the minute because I've got work lined up. I've got an operation coming and I've got a few commitments afterwards. And I hate saying to people, yeah, I'll do it. And then I'm sort of like, you know, and it fizzles out because I've just got so much to do, you know. If you can wait for about 9 months, then I'm sure we'll definitely fit you in. Side gig. Plastering today, managed to drop the whole bucket of plaster over my girlfriend's dog. Put him in the shower, trying to get the stuff off. I might have to let it dry and shave the dog. Any ideas? Oh. I would have got him under the hose pipe, mate, to be honest with you. You may have potentially blocked your shower as well, so let's just see how that goes. Yeah, I would have carried on washing him. I don't think there's any way of getting plaster. Well, I tell you, here's a thing, right? Don't shave your dog. Plaster when it's wet. If I get plaster in my hair and I get in the shower, you can literally just crush it in your fingers. Okay, so I don't know how much plaster you've got on your dog, but take him somewhere where you can get him down the canal or something and get him soaked. You know, get him in the water, let him have a good swim, take him to sea or something, and it'll come out a lot easier rather than shaving him. But I'll definitely have a look at the trap in your shower and make sure you haven't filled that with plaster, mate. Mark Kitchen evening, mate. Action Popcast. I much prefer working solo. I know it's always possible. I know it's not always possible, but far less stressful. True. There we go. Lee Tuck, have you got any places left on the day of plastering you're hosting? Yes, I think there's one left. I don't know if it's gone by now. Let's just have a look. Yeah, there should be a day left. Can I see on here? I would have had a message, so I'm assuming. Yes. Go to the channel description, go to kurtjohnstone.co.uk, click on that. There'll be a link in there. There's one spot left. It hasn't gone as of yet, so you can still jump on. It's not until the second Saturday in March. Side gig. Yeah, it's only just happened. Such thick fur. It's on its third wash. Just keep soaking him, mate. If you're still going, just keep soaking him. Spars. Change my name for you. Cheers, mate. That's much easier for me to read. Thank you. Ryan, love the videos, Kurt. You're a wealth of knowledge. Much love from a fellow plasterer in Ireland. Nice one, Ryan. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you. Shaz95, kind of struggling with mixing red builder sand and plasticizer. Doesn't hold it like doesn't hold its shape like in your video. Should I use fine sharp sand? Great video, by the way, helping a lot. I think you're mixing it too wet. Use less plasticizer or more sand. It doesn't take a lot, you know. Doesn't take a lot of the stuff. So if it's not holding its shape, you've mixed it too wet. You put too much in. Thicken it with sand or put less plasticizer in on the next go. The green-eyed carper SPR'd yesterday, and it's just dripping off. What should I do? Never had this problem, mate. Please. I don't know what. SBR usually dries in about 20 minutes, mate, so I don't know what's gone on there. What was that? Sorry, bear with me. Right, that's the plastering course done. That's it. Sorry, guys. It's someone's just Lee, the Tuck family was that you that was just mentioned before? I don't know if it was the guy that just mentioned before, but anyway, so we'll see how this day goes. That's it now. There's no spaces left on it. We'll see how this day goes, and then if it's good and I enjoy it and everyone else enjoys it and we all benefit from it, then we'll do more of them in the future. So we'll just see. And as well, don't forget, I'm sort of teaming up with Liverpool School Plastering, so it has to work for them as well. So if Ben's happy and I'm happy and everyone else enjoys it, we'll do more. As long as everyone's happy, that's the main thing, you know. It's all right saying, oh yeah, you know, Kurt made some money, but the school didn't benefit, or you know, the people come away. Kirk and Ben benefited from the school, but you guys didn't get what you wanted, or you guys got what you wanted, but we felt henpecked. As long as everybody enjoys it and it's a good day, then we'll do more of it. Mike Dennett. I'm a painter and decorator by trade, but I've started doing bits of plastering only recently. Your videos have helped massively. Cheers, Mike. Thank you very much, mate. Glad to be of help. Louis Finn. Hi, Kirk. Do you prefer rendering or skimming? I like both, but you get sick of one and you crave the other. Or I do. By the time I seem to get like Monaco's jobs in a spate, I'll be rendering like 4 houses on the trot and I get a bit sick of it. I look forward to a bit of skimming. And then I seem to get, you know, so much skimming work, you get sick of that and then you want the other. So I prefer both, to be fair. I like both, you know. There's nothing, to be fair, there's nothing really in plastering that I don't like. I enjoy all of it, you know. what's stressful for me, or what was stressful for me, is the fact of being busy. When you're so busy and you just all the time, you just flat out, that takes the joy out of it for me. If I can just take my time and just do the jobs at my own pace, I'm quite happy. But things will always take longer, and then jobs run over, and then you end up working weekends, and then you sort of like, your back's to the wall, and you don't want to let people down. And it's trying to keep everything in its space that gets stressful. So what I started doing was, which I advise to anybody that gets busy, just book in 4 days a week. 4 days a week will always turn to 5 anyway, without booking any extra work in. So just do 4 days a week. It's just easier. And then you'll still have the weekends to yourself. If not, you'll still have a Sunday to yourself at least. Just do it that way. That'll be less stressful. But what happens with me is, I go, okay, yeah, I'll do that, that, and that. And then someone else say, oh, can you do this little patching job? Yeah, I'll squeeze you in on a Sunday. And I'm like 7 days a week all the time. Jay Trizzy, you a Stokey? No, apparently I sound like I'm from Stoke. This is the Ellesmere Port accent. Everyone in Ellesmere Port sounds just like me. El Slappo, how much do you aim to make a day? Plastering, I would say any tradesman should be aiming to make 300 quid minimum. Tradesmen should be making about £300 a day, I would say. If you're good at your job, you should get good at sales. 300 quid's not really, that should be where it's at, No one will comment now. Everyone will go quiet because HMRC are in the comments. The tax man's watching me all the time. I know anyway, so I just have to be legit now. Back in the day, used to do cash jobs, all this, and then, well, I don't know how many of my videos you watched, but a couple of years ago, HMRC went, "Oh, come here, you," took me in, give me a little spanking, and took 37 grand off me. Flipping, that was a nightmare, that. But so now everything's legit and by the book, so. The sad thing is, all the stuff as well that they do online, YouTube, Facebook, everything, all the payments for everything is all through the bank. So there's no way of hiding nothing, The good old days when you could just charge $250 cash. No one pays you cash anymore, does it? It's been finished. SL, love it, Kirk. I've subscribed, and even though it's like a foreign language, I'll pop in to give you Guinness subs. Cheers, mate. Simon Burton, hi, mate. I've been skimming for over 15 years. Do you get frustrated with old timers telling you the best way as time and ways move on? Yeah, do you know what? I tell you what I get loads of, and it's not so much on YouTube. You okay, Maze? Food here? No, okay, all right. That's the middle daughter. 3 daughters. It's like having 3 extra wives. They all flip it. Dad, do this. Dad, do that. That's the middle daughter. No, I tell you what I get a lot of, and it's not so much on YouTube. I mean, YouTube sort of crowds, you guys are flipping great. I get trolls on TikTok. Now, you don't get trolls on Facebook. Here's the thing, right? You don't get trolls on Facebook because ultimately they're easy to find out who they are. A lot of people don't want to give you any abuse, or not just me, but anybody. I'm not on about me. I'm on about in general. Not many people will give you a stick on Facebook because you can literally click on them, see who they are. I mean, you could go and pay them a visit. So people on Facebook tend to not be too bad. People on YouTube just seem to be a nice bunch all round. A lot of people on YouTube, don't know what it is. I don't ever leave negative comments on anybody's video ever. I just don't. If I don't like it, I just click off it. And I think that's the majority of people on YouTube are just decent people. I don't know if it's a different category of people. TikTok seems to be full of flipping idiots. A good 30% are just flipping idiots. But the thing is, they're completely anonymous, aren't they? So they can say what they want with impunity. You know, you can't. There's no repercussions for them, apart from the fact that I'm quite fast with the banter. So I'll just give it on back and rip into them as fast as they try and say anything to me. But you do get a lot of fellas saying this and this and this, and then they finish it by saying plasterer 30 years, you know, like doing something for so long gives you authority. Now, what my thinking on it is, I've got a mate who does track days, okay, like in his car. He can drift a car the whole way around the track, right round, multiple times. He can control the car when it's going sideways. Now, for me, my heart's in my mouth. You know, I just want to go forward and stop. He loves it. Foot down, 160 mile an hour. He's spit. You know, he's just a nutter. Excellent driver. He's younger than me. He's in his 20s, right? Now, my old neighbour has been driving since World War II, so I wouldn't trust him on a skateboard. So there's the difference. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing something. Just blatantly stating that you've done something for 30 years doesn't automatically mean you're good. Now, a lot of guys that have been doing it that long are excellent plasterers, full of wisdom, but you can't really. I would never put in the comments plasterer since I was 15. I mention it, but it's not because I think I'm any good. It's not because I'm trying to sort of say you should listen to me because I've been doing it since I was 15. It doesn't make the. I could have been doing it wrong since I was 15. Do you know what I mean? I probably have. That's the thing. I probably have. So, oh yeah, but yeah, you do get older fellas telling you what you should do. I mean, I have my dad telling me all the time. So just take it with a pinch of salt. Although I do love my dad and I do listen to him. Um, here we go. Monkey Boy, can I get away with up to an inch of bonding in areas on an overboarded ceiling? Yes, I know I should have packed out the battens. Yeah, yeah, you're going to be okay with an inch. An inch of bond. If you straight onto the board, you're going to be okay. If you were sort of going over something that was already up, like Artex, I'd say, well, check your background first, make sure it's good and solid. But I don't think, an inch of bonding's not going to pull off plasterboard all that easy, If it was over the whole ceiling, which it's not, it's going to be in certain areas, you'll be fine, mate. It'll be okay. Steve Gordon, Evening Mucker, how's the test going with the SBR on glass? So we filmed a bit more before. I put the scales on. So we've got a piece of glass. For anyone that doesn't know, I've got a piece of glass. I've put some pink SBR on the glass. Then I've put a load of plaster on it and embedded a big loop of scrim. Okay. So now we've got, and I let the SBR completely dry because people were saying that finished plaster can't stick to bone dry SBR. So we've tested it. And what I've done is I've set the whole thing up. I've got the scales and then I've got me and I've been pulling up on the scales and I've got it to 25 kilograms of force, 25 kg on the scales. I'm pinning the glass down with my feet and pulling up, and the plaster is stuck to the SBR, and the SBR stuck to the glass, and it's taking 25 kilograms. So, and the blob is about that big. So that's like hanging a bag of plaster off that. A bag of plaster is 25 kilograms. So in my mind, there is no possible way that your finish will fall off if you skim over dry SBR. I would say, I'm quite confident to say now, if you put SBR on a ceiling or a wall and let it completely dry and skim on it, the plaster should never, ever, ever fall off unless you've done something wrong. Out of date plaster, I don't know, contamination or something, because I've just literally been pulling and getting 25 kilograms of force. Now I can pull harder. I know I'll be able to pull it off at some point, but I'm just thinking 25 kilograms is a good old weight to hang off the ceiling, isn't it? That's enough to prove to me that the stuff's going to stay stuck, in my opinion. Pot, don't forget to give the channel a thumbs up, guys. See, he's looking after me. I haven't got the thumb button here to give it a like. Have I? Can it do? No, I can't do it myself. I start liking my own videos. Luke, bet you can do a bit of quiet. I don't know what you're on about, Luke. I've missed what we're up to. Kieran Mitchell, proper struggling to learn how to do corners. Any advice? Would you use a sponge float? DIY having a good, happy with a wall surface, just corners. So watch some of the skimming videos and go in neat to the corner. Take a little bit and go in neat. It's my famous saying. If you're working 2 wet angles, then consider getting a corner trowel. If you're just a beginner, don't work wet angles. Work 1 wall at a time. Go up to the very edges, neat. Go both ways with the trowel. So you're going to go. There's the trowel. Look at the rust. I'm going to show you something with these in a minute. So don't pay attention to the rust. This is a brand new trowel that got left in white vinegar. And look at the corner. Went missing. Oh, we are. See that? The corner. I left it in there for too long. That's what it did. That's nothing, actually. Look at this one. Look at that. That was a brand new trowel. Don't leave trowels in white vinegar for too long, more than a week, because that's what will happen to them. Okay. That was a brand new trowel. That I was putting a patina on it. I actually spent a few months wearing that in, nice and sharp, and then thought I'll put a patina on it before it's ready to go. And then I forgot to take it out after the day and just left it in there. I thought it won't do it any harm. Oh, it does. White vinegar will just eat your tools. I think there was Coca-Cola in there as well. Oh, that's what I'm saying to you. Sorry. So just forget the shape of the trowel for a minute. I'm just using it as demonstrating purposes. So when you're going to say this is a corner here, yeah? Here's the wall and here's the corner, right? So you're going to come out your corner this way, like this, yeah? Don't go into the corner with your trowel fully loaded with a plaster, because you'll get it all over this wall, okay? So just wipe it off, take a little bit and go into the corner, neat, into the very angled corner and pull it out. And also make sure you go up and down this way so that it's flat here. Because if you just go that way, you'll curve the corner in. Look at that. Adam Holland. Well, Kurt, love the videos. I'm a plumber, but enjoy learning about your trade. Thank you, mate. I'm the same. I like learning about plumbing, electrics, all that sort of stuff. It's good to know a little bit about all sorts, isn't it? You know. Chris Swan, the green-eyed carper. I'd say your wall's probably getting damp in, or really cold room without heat. Pre-3, out Kirk, how's it going, mate? Oh, rightio. Double Dutchy, hi, mate. Great channel. Question for you. Dust sheets. How do you go about cleaning them after jobs? My old man taught me. He's retired now, but has the job, lol, of cleaning the dust sheets. Cotton twill dust sheets. Put them over your washing line and beat them. Okay, don't put them in the washing machine, not unless you want to buy a new washing machine. My old favourite is just get some tarps. Drape your tarps over the washing line and get the jet wash on them, or the hose pipe, or whatever. Tarps are a lot easier to wash off. Cotton twill dust sheets are nicer. They've got the plastic backing. Here's a little tip for you. Never, ever put your cotton twill dust sheets back in the van if they're still damp, and fold them up, because the next time you open them, they'll be mouldy. Lee Tuck, yes, was me going to donate some money to say thanks for all the tips. So coming on the day course as my way of saying thanks. Thanks, Lee. That's you that's booked on. I'm aware. I'm looking forward to meeting you, mate. And we're gonna go. We'll have a great day, and then we're gonna have a meal on us. That's included in your price, and we'll have a few pints as well on me. That's included as well. So if you're coming down, just take into account it's on a Saturday. If you want to have a few pints, I'm going to be staying in the hotel. I mean, you're not staying. I'm not saying that because I'm trying to say stay in my room. Not hitting on you, mate. I'm not a weirdo. But I'm saying I'm going to be staying over there because I'm going to have something to eat and a few beers, I won't be able to drive back. So just bear that in mind. If you can have a pint and drive back, fine. If you have a couple of pints, consider staying over, because I don't know how far back you're going, but just giving you the heads up, that's the plan, to have a couple of beers afterwards. Governor Muck, can you lime wash Pebble Dash stucco? I'm over in Canada. Haven't come across anyone doing Pebble Dash over here anymore. Really like the texture of Pebble Dash. Can you lime wash Pebble? Yeah, you can lime wash it. Yeah, of course you can. Yeah. Mike Dennett, I saw your van in Frodsham the other day. Have you had the pies from Cowards, the butchers there? Yes, Mike. You should have lifted me window wipers up. I'll tell you what I was doing. If you're in Frodsham, Mike. My dad lives in Frodsham, so I popped through. I usually go to Coward's Pies, but I didn't. I had my little lad with me, and I took him to Queen's Head for Sunday lunch. My dad doesn't go in there, so I went into Queen's Head. It wasn't Sunday though, was it? What day was it? Was it a Saturday or week? Anyway, I usually go to Queen's Head for a Sunday lunch, but I can't think what day it was. But we went in there, had something to eat, and then I nipped over to the Red Lion, the other side, and that's where my dad was, and had a pint with him. And I actually got a little video of him, which you'll be able to see on the shorts, YouTube shorts, or if you got me on Facebook or anything, you'll be able to see it there. But that's where we were in the Red Lion. Chris Swan, when are we going to meet the nerds on video who helped with the SBR? Good question. So the nerds, well, there's the chief nerd is my mate Lee. He's the one that runs the show. He's the chief chemical engineer. And ultimately, I've spoke to him about this. So let me just make you aware of the situation. So Lee is the chemist behind the pink SBR. He's the one that sort of told me what we can and can't do to it, how we can thicken it, what sort of things we have to use, and the costs and all that sort of palaver. He is a full on. That's his game. That's his field. But he's a great fella. I can go out for a pint with him. He's sound. He's one of the boys, but he knows his game inside out. He now follows what goes on YouTube and TikTok. He doesn't bother with Facebook, but he watches the YouTube stuff and he watches the TikTok stuff. Now, given his extensive knowledge, when people question things or say things on TikTok, I say to him, Lee, just reply to him. I mean, you don't have to say that you're involved, but just put them straight. I mean, you know the answers, because he'll tell me, such and such said this. You could have said this, this, and this to them and explained it. I said, well, you just say it. But he doesn't want to. He doesn't even want to comment from an anonymous account on TikTok. He doesn't want nothing to do with it. It's not his thing. So he doesn't want to comment. Can you imagine me saying I want to film you? He just doesn't. Some people just don't like attention. They just don't want to be in the limelight. And he's quite happy like that. He likes to be sort of in the background making the money. So you can't blame him. Me, I'm like there, my face on the front. I'm going to get me flipping picture put on the front of the bottle on a tin of dog food, because wouldn't it? Tin of chappy of my face on the front of it. So I don't think you'll ever get to meet him. But maybe, who knows what the future holds? Maybe, but I very much doubt that you'll ever see Lee, or any of the nerds. Maybe there's the lads in the factory. You've seen them. If you see some of the videos, you'll see them in the background and getting involved. But arts and cars, how we doing, mate? Kevin Laws, evening. Yeah, Kevin Laws, evening. Kirk, hope you're good, mate. Cheers, Kevin. Monkey Boy, thank you. Lee Tuck. My friend is a tiler, and I did a test with SBR. I stuck a tile to 2 pieces of kitchen plinth. One had no SBR, the other had dried SBR on it. It took all my strength to pull off the tile of the SBR piece. I think the food's here. That's the back garden gate. Is that the food, sweetheart? Yeah. All right, head in the house. I'll be in now, okay? I love you. Thank you. Right. No one else comments. I'm going to read these comments. I'm going for McDonald's. Steve Gordon, okay, Mucker. Steve's a massive kid. The Wondering Mason, my comment got deleted. Listen, if anyone's comment ever gets deleted, it is not me. All I'm just sat here with the mouse scrolling through the comments here. I don't even read them before. I read them as I read them, if that makes sense. That's why sometimes I'll read troll comments. I'm literally just reading what I see. If your comment ever gets deleted, YouTube has took it away, not me. So try writing it again. If you've used foul language, YouTube will retract your comment. It's not me doing it. So I'm not saying you've swore, maybe you did something else. I don't know. I don't know why comments get restricted, but it's not me. I'm assuming it's usually for foul language though. So Wondering Mason, do you have any advice for finding a workshop in terms of somewhere to keep all your tools? And like what I've sort of got, I just built mine in my back garden. If you wanted somewhere sort of, a nice little space, I tell you, I've got a couple of mates that are farmers. They're always looking for people to rent space off them because they've got loads of farm buildings, little farms where they've got old dairy sections that no longer get used because no one can afford to be a dairy farmer no more. You have to have a massive operation. These sort of guys. I'd go and see some farmers. You're not going to struggle to find somewhere to have a little workshop if you want to build one yourself. Kieran Mitchell, thanks very much for the corner advice. Love the channel. So enjoyable to watch. So good of you to share the knowledge. Keep it up. Cheers, Kieran. You're a gent. Dirk Doom. Good man, Kirk. Delighted to see your success. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate you. Calvin Jones. You were going to talk about your nephew and working for you. Oh, yeah, I haven't got time now. He's next Sunday. There's so much I can tell you about the lad. Lee Scott, hi, enjoyed your vids doing the house up, doing some plastering. Would like to get a bit better so can do the odd jobs for people. Would I learn enough doing one of your day courses, or would a week course be good? Okay, so I'm not doing a course, it's like a plastering experience. I would say if you want to start doing jobs for people, the best way to start, you're more than welcome to jump on a day experience with me. It will greatly advance you, but you won't be a plasterer at the end of it. You could do a week plastering course with someone. You would learn a lot of stuff, but you wouldn't be a plasterer at the end of it, to go off sort of on the loose in someone's home. I would say the best way about going about that is to work with another plasterer for about a year. Just go and do that. At least a year, and then you're going to have a great understanding. If you're doing a year with someone and you do a course here and there, you're going to pick up loads of extra bits as well. No one can stop you learning. If you really want to learn and you want to do as much as you possibly can and consume as much knowledge as you can, no one can stop you, and you'll be able to learn so much in a year, but it won't be done in a day or a week. You're not going to have. It's like trying to say if I took you on a driving lesson for half an hour, would you be able to drive a car? Imagine taking someone for a driving lesson and let them loose on the motorway the same day. That's the sort of situation. It's anything. It's a skill. It just takes a bit of time to master, and then learn all the other obstacles that you need to overcome. No, I'm not trying to put you on a disheartener either. I'm just trying to tell you genuine advice rather than blowing smoke up your backside. V Lorenzo, all right, Kirk. Just wanted to say thanks for your tips on tapping bell cast speeds. I'm predominantly indoors, but I had to do some wet dash, and the saving came in well handy. Good lad. Cheers, mate. Don Barras, how you should store pink SPR? Just room temperature. Don't let it freeze. Don't let it freeze. I asked the science nerds about this. It'd probably be okay if it froze, but it's best not to let it freeze. I keep it in the bottle, and I also leave it in the paint scuttle. I leave it in a paint scuttle in the back of my van, and what tends to happen is it gets a little bit of a skin on the top of it. If I leave it for a few days, I just move that to the side and dip in again. Just try not to let it freeze in your van. That's the only thing. How about reset all All the goops and mixtures must have different names in the USA. Please make a video on translating UK to USA English. Thanks. Okay, that's a good shout. That I know a lot of US plasters, white, like lime-based plasters. Be interesting to come to the States and do some plastering, actually. Calvin, Chris Swan, stop reading. Good night. Good man, Chris. Chris looking after me belly. Johnny Hot Dog, love your channel, man. Doing the plastering course because of you. Spot on, Johnny. Get that knowledge in, mate. Ask them if you can film it and watch it back. You'll learn so much more from what the instructor says to you. It might not, what they say to you at the time might go over your head, but when you watch it back a few times, it'll start to sink in. So ask them if you can film it. Calvin, enjoy your Mackey's. Cheers, mate. Carl, when is your experience day, mate? And what's the cost? Thanks. Carl, we've just literally sold out of it, but there's more than likely going to be another one, but we'll just see. So, but you'll know about it in good time, mate. I will keep everyone updated. Razzle, Daryl, appreciate you, dude. I plastered too, and it's nice to see there's still some professionals left. Cheers, mate. I'll accept the title, mate, sort of begrudgingly. I don't like to give myself too much of a high flipping title because there's plenty of people that'll take it back off you again. Sean O'Connell or Sean or Sean O'Donnell. I know I've done this in the past, and I can't remember which one we said. Sorry, mate. Night, Kurt. Great chat as usual. Enjoy your Mackies. Cheers, mate. Steve Gordon. Mucker, is it me or have you noticed the price of gypsum undercoats have gone up yet again? Tell me about it. Don Boris. Okay, lads, let him go and eat. We all know cold McDonald's is shit. Burger's going to be freezing. What did you use before half time? Dirty water. Take care, mate. I'm up at 5. Carl. Gentlemen, it's been emotional. Good night, God bless. Going for me dinner, me tea, whatever it is. I don't know. My head's gone now. You can only, when you talk for 2 hours solid, your flipping brain goes to mush. Take it easy, guys. Adios. It's been emotional.